Hello everyone, nubkeks here, and welcome back to Nub Raids, where we are on the Raid Shadow Legends test server. Thanks to Plarium, as always. And today we're going to check out Oella. She is the new fusion. It's just gone live today as I'm recording in-game. You guys will be, a good bit in, or hopefully a good bit into Ice Golem and Dungeon Divers if you're going for this fusion already. There's still time to get into it. If you watch this showcase and you're like, actually, I really want this champion, because spoiler warning, I actually think she's fantastic. I've heard a lot of people say they don't like her. Well, I disagree. I'll show you why, and we'll see it today. Maybe. Maybe. Let's take a look at her kit and what she does. So her A1 is a 100% chance when booked to place decreased speed for 2 turns. It cannot be resisted if Ultin of the Shell is on the same team. So he's definitely not necessary to have him there. And she's not going to be doing this all the time. But I think this is still kind of a nifty thing. You could use this in Iron Twins as a 100% chance to place decreased speed. You could open with this, for example. Is definitely something that you could do to stop him doing his thing. I've actually found it in Hydra to be kind of nifty, right? I don't know if I was just lucky or if she is kind of a smart AI, but it did seem to me that she would try to attack people that didn't have decreased speed. Might have been pure luck. Might have been, but kind of nifty, right, to throw it out. Sometimes, like, you decapitate a head, the debuffs goes away, and then she goes in and she decreases speed. So cool. Let's actually go to her A3 first, because this is really hype. Morphosis books to a 3-turn cooldown, 30% turn meter fill. That's a huge turn meter boost, really strong. And then also puts 50% increased resistance on everyone for 2 turns. I think this is just a fantastic move. Most of the increase, in fact, all the other increased resistance champions in the game put it for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. So she's much better already for keeping this up consistently with a big turn meter. That combos with her A2, Hand of Spring, which is a massive heal, 30% heal to everybody on a 3-turn cooldown, that increases all ally buffs by 1 turn. So just in terms of the internal synergy of her kit, she's giving increased resistance to everyone and then extending it by a turn. And they're both on a 3-turn cooldown. So by herself, she keeps increased resistance on your team all the time, which is just fantastic, while also putting out a lot of turn meter and a lot of healing. Her passive then is even more healing whenever an ally loses 15% or more of their max HP from a single hit. Puts continuous heal on the ally for 1 turn, puts it for 2 turns, and instantly activates it if Ultin of the Shell is on the same team. So this can be very powerful when you run them together. I don't think you always need to run them together. She's doing great stuff without him. Even without him, it's still a nice chunk of healing that she's going to be putting out to help people survive, especially in Hydra. You get smacked hard and she starts to pick people back up with that continuous heal, which is pretty cool, so long as they don't die, of course. And there you go. She has a 75 resist in dungeons aura. This is unfortunate that it is dungeons. If this was all battles, it would actually be insane. So it's kind of useful for progression mostly. And Iron Twins, Sand Devil. Of course, we're gonna have more dungeons. We know there's one new dungeon coming as well. She might be useful there. So it's a good aura. It is just a big pity that it doesn't work. In Arena, there's a few good champions like Lydia, that everybody gets. Razin. You've got some options there. It's a pity for even Doom Tower, like Rector Drath can come in. Hydra, though, that sucks. It sucks for Hydra that it's not an all battles aura. How did I build her up? So the way that I built her, I put her into 2 resist chests and a perception chest. I wanted to get the decreased speed out. I don't know if this is the best way to build her, but this is what I did. You can see the total stats that I went for. I put her in really good gear. I want her, important, I want her to be very fast. I'm trying to give her a good, I feel like most people don't like her, so I want to put her in good gear so that she looks good, right? I want her to be very fast. I think that's actually extremely important. And I also want her to have really good resistance. I gave her 451. That's not as high. You guys know from my account, like for my Python showcase, we built him at 700, right? So it's not super, super high for what I could do, but it's really good, and I'll show you some stats and stuff after we see some gameplay. It's a good amount to shoot for that's going to give her enough resistance for nearly everywhere in the game. I've given her a bunch of accuracy. You could drop that accuracy, crank the resist up more. You could crank up her defensive stats up more. I've tried her like this, and I actually really like her. So she's super tanky, super fast, good enough resistance, and a bit of decreased speed out there, but you could ditch this if you need to. For her masteries, I built her up like this. There's one thing I might change. So I gave her the resistance here, less damage from crits here for Arena, more healing here for everywhere. Shadow heal, again, mostly for Arena. I did give her solidarity. Actually throws out some more resistance when she puts the increased resistance on people and when the continuous heals go out. So might be kind of nice. Not super essential, but kind of nice. Delay death. Then we've got our Cycle of Revenge. I thought would be kind of nifty again for Arena. Retribution is mostly to get over to the bonus resistance of Unshakable. And I did get her accuracy. If you're not going for accuracy, you just get her more health. And then you could get her stronger heals. That's a good option too. Because I got her the accuracy, I had to get Exalt in Death. I did grab her more accuracy here as well, trying to get her with good enough accuracy for even Nightmare Hydra. Rapid response here. Once again, if you're going this way, you get Steadfast, get Lay on Hands. I would still get Rapid Response, and then you could actually grab Healing Savior instead, which is also pretty good. One thing I might change, this is the thing I might change. Cycle of Magic, I'd actually probably remove this. I figured it'd be good for Arena. In Hydra, it's a bit hit or miss because you really want her to do her skills in order. You don't actually want to change the cooldown, right? You want her to increase resistance and then extend it. You want it to be consistent, and this breaks the consistency. So I'd actually remove that, and I would give her Merciful Aid instead. For most of you, I would suggest going down the Steadfast, Lay on Hands, Rapid Response with Healing Savior, Merciful Aid, and Lasting Gifts route. We definitely want Lasting Gifts. Extend her buffs, extends increased resist, which is nice, and makes the continuous heals significantly better. Right, good chance to make those stronger. That's what we've done. Similarly, I will say as well, these refresh accessories can also throw her off. Not in as bad of a way, but it will throw her off a bit. So just watch out for that too. It's not as bad as Cycle of Magic because, she's either going to extend the increased resist again, or apply increased resist turn meter boost again, which is fine. Yeah, right, let's dive into some action. Here we go. Wait, I need to make sure that you guys can see this. There we go. So this was a Hydra run I did earlier. So it's a little bit artifacted and stuff. I've sped it up 2 times. This is actually on Brutal. So I was trying teams like this on Nightmare. I got up to about 20 million. I'm playing on full auto, guys. So this team is designed to work full auto. I will click heads when they devour a champion. I'll show you the clip at the end of this fight. It's quite hilarious when we get into it. But other than that, I just let them go do what they wanted. So on Nightmare full auto, just letting them do what they want. We got to about 20 million. I think this team could one key Nightmare with Oella in there. But you would need to do it more on manual or get very lucky. But this is on Brutal, and you're going to see it works really, really well. So in terms of the combos that we've got with Oella, I think the big combo is she's going to be really good with any champions that give you lots of buffs because she extends those buffs and makes them consistent. I don't have probably, what's the best buff you could have? It's probably counterattack would add the most here. Unfortunately, I don't have Martyr or Valkyrie. I think they'd both be incredible with Oella because she gives you all increased resistance. She'd stop counterattack from being stolen from anyone. And yeah, it just lets you absolutely slam. Increased speed is another really good one to keep that up all the time. I did not actually build this team around Archbishop Pinthroy. I was using Ugo initially. I threw Pinthroy in. He's really good with her, actually really good. And I think that's a combo you would explore for things like Iron Twins. Definitely in a combo worth exploring further for Hydra, because he gives you increased accuracy. Also, he gives you increased defense as well on his other move, and he brings the block buffs. That increased accuracy, you could have increased accuracy, increased resistance, up 100% of the time on your team with Pinthroy and her together. Like I said, I didn't build the team with increased accuracy in mind for this one, but it's something that's worth noting. Nekmothar obviously is OP for Hydra. We have him with the speed aura, increased speed, decreased speed, leech, decreased attack, all fantastic stuff. He's in a provoke set, so he's going to provide our taunts, which was a problem I ran into. The 2 problems I ran into a Nightmare Hydra was bad luck with provoke set. It's inconsistent. And then the big problem I ran into, I was trying with Sissia especially, is that she's bad affinity for Head of Suffering and Head of Mischief on rotation 1, which is this. And we could just have champions be eaten by Mischief or Suffering, and she could weak hit, not apply the burn or the decreased defense, and we get kind of wrecked. We wouldn't break them free on time. You can see here Inquisitor Shamael got eaten, and he's back out. We have Inquisitor Shamael in. Increased resistance will protect us from basically everything the bosses throw at us here. but it's not going to protect us from the True Fears. So we need something to deal with True Fear. If you don't have Shemael, I actually think Rector Drath, I might come back and do like a budget hard team with Oella here, using only epics and Oella, and see how we do on hard. But I think Rector Drath is an amazing combo. Rector Drath gives you perfect fail, but struggles a bit with uptime. Oella will make that uptime way more consistent, which ups Rector's healing, ups that damage reduction from perfect fail, protects you from the fears, and of course Rector Drath's passive gives you bonus resistance. So I think they're amazing for hard, but this video is already going to be long enough showing one Hydra run. We're not going to watch it all, but the highlights. But it should give you an idea. I remember around turn 50, stuff goes crazy, and you really get to see Oella's healing and stuff become quite useful. So we'll see up to that point, and then we'll start skipping ahead. We got Sissia in for the decreased defense, weaken, burns, and damage. We have, I think, another great combo, Mithrala with Oella. Very strong. Oella extends all of Mithrala's buffs, makes them super consistent. Mithrala provides you with all the buffs that you need to not get one shot, which is the one weakness with Oella. She does tons of healing, tons of turn meter, protects you from debuffs, but you can still get one shot by Head of Wrath. Mithrala makes that like not happen, and obviously Hex is really good. I do think the ideal Hex champion is Tila, but we'll talk about that in a while. To go with Oella, I think Tila and Oella be really strong, and things like Valkyrie and stuff. But yeah, there you go. And you sort of get a gist for how this is going. Let's actually, yeah, like I said, we'll wait until we get to turn 50. But one of the things you should notice, we do have Nekmothar going very fast. He's being boosted by Shemael, so he's getting debuffed sometimes, but he's not dying. He's getting healed up just as soon as he takes any damage. But you see the rest of them, whenever any of these debuffs come out, you just see that green resisted text fly over. Nobody is getting any debuffs except for Nekmothar. And it is not easy to build them with enough resistance for Brutal and Nightmare. They both require essentially the same amount of resistance, almost. But look at all those green resist texts. All the provokes, nobody else gets hit except for Nekmo. Yeah, any of the buff steals like Mischief is going to come in here. So this is where it gets pretty spicy. So you can see like people are getting smacked around a bit. We have the healing from Oella, keeping us steady, and then trying to break through this shield. Yeah, we're approaching that 1 key damage already. Again, you can see those resists coming in. The big smacks coming in. You can see the continuous heals. People take turns. They get the shield back on. The turn meter boost gets them up. I think it's a great combo, actually. The turn meter boost that she throws out gets you back to activating those continuous heals. It's so good. And yeah, you can just see that buff uptime. And we do break whoever it is free. Let's skip on ahead. So I was doing a bunch of testing. But like this goes and goes and goes and goes. Look at this, guys. It just goes and goes. And there we are. So how did this team do? Well, this team pushed 100 million. I thought it got quite funny here towards the end. You can see champions are being devoured like left, right, and center. Get real spicy. Got really, really spicy towards the end. Coming up to this turn limit. And the game started to lag really hard too. Possibly because I was recording as well. And just the run was going so long, it started to lag out. But yeah, I thought Oella in this team, we're here on Brutal. Again, it's rotation 1 of the Hydra. And this team absolutely smashed it. And there's more optimization that could be done. Like, I could build way more damage on Inquisitor Shemael. I could reduce the accuracy on everyone because we're going to have increased accuracy up all the time. There's more stuff we could do. We could switch up the gear sets on Oella, right? We don't really need the decreased speed from her here. It's nice, but we don't really need it with Nekmothar. We could ditch her accuracy. We could put her in, like, a relentless set, get her taking more turns and boosting the turn meter more. There's a lot of stuff that we could do. But yeah, I just thought this team was so funny. Like, with all the turn meter stuff going on, you can see it's really lagging. We were actually able to just, like, keep getting eaten and keep breaking people free. And it went, and it went, and it went, and it's freezing up. And would you believe it? Coming up to the turn limit, 185, 186. And I was absolutely heartbroken. Heartbroken, guys. Look at the freezing. Because turn 1494. 1494. We were 6 turns off hitting the turn limit. And we got wiped. So there you go. It was a 56-minute run, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It took several hours, really, of planning this and so on to actually get this showcase. It's a short video for you, but it took a long time. But we can see the stats, right? Nekmo at 19 million damage. You can see Sissia really pumping the damage. Mithrala with the Hex doing a lot of damage as well. And a backup Brimstone. And Shmael actually pumped out good damage too. In terms of the healing, we can see Oella did 7.4 million. You compare that to Archbishop Pinthroy, he's going to heal similarly to an Ugo. She's healed a lot more, so she's pumping out plenty of healing for Hydra. Plenty, plenty, plenty. You just need to make sure for the higher difficulties that you've got some form of damage reduction or something like that. You need to make sure you don't get one shot, but I think so long as your champions don't get one shot, you're gonna be just fine. You're going to be just fine. Let me show you the stats for that particular team. We were on Brutal for this one. So the stats I was running for this particular team, again, this is very good gear because I was trying to build stuff for Brutal, for Nightmare. You can see we don't have any resistance on Nekmothar. Now, Sisya, about 300 resistance, okay? Oella we've seen already. Mithrala, well, Mithrala is infinite resistance. 300 on Archbishop and 300 on Inquisitor Shmael. The way we've been able to do this, let me show you an absolutely horrible spreadsheet. I have made, I apologize, zero effort, literally, to make this look good. To make this look good. Let's center stuff. You get the gist, though. That's sort of the point. But I was going through and I was looking at this, and this could be a useful resource, and I will do this in more detail. I'll bring you a full Oella guide in a few weeks when I actually get her on the live servers and build her up, and I've tested her more. This is like an initial thing. I was looking at like the accuracy, right? So Hard Hydra 310 is Head of Mischief. On Nightmare it's 350. Brutal 345. Weirdly goes up 5 accuracy from Brutal to Nightmare. But that's as much accuracy. Iron Twins is 600. Bommel Hard is 750. And then I gave it a resistance goal, which is basically 105 resistance beyond that. You could say just 100 if you wanted to. It's not going to give you a 97%, which is the maximum. It's not going to give you that much chance to resist, but about a 90% chance to resist everything that these bosses do. And then over here, we've got, what is our goal then? If we include increased resistance, right? How much resistance do we need? So for Hard Hydra, 276. For Nightmare, 303, which is exactly why so many of these champions are coming in with like 300 and low 300. It is actually 303 exactly on her. Aiming for around that is going to give you a really good time. You can be slightly below. You just won't resist every single thing. Or not bet. You might be like 80% chance. You can go higher than that. You can get up to the 97% chance. But just a rough gist. Iron Twins is a bit harder, and Bommel is quite hard. When you add in decrease accuracy, I haven't really included that too much. You can see with decrease accuracy out there for Nightmare Hydra. So if you had someone like a Kantra who's very consistent at provoking, you could potentially, with that increased resistance, build almost no resistance, 187. Just the base stats and a max Great Hall resistance is going to do that for you. Give him an amulet with resistance, you're almost there already, and you'll be fine. Iron Twins becomes more doable. This is relevant for Bommel, actually. So when you apply decreased accuracy, this is relevant for Bommel. The problem with Iron Twins cleanses, obviously, the Hydra can cleanse as well. Now, Bommel doesn't cleanse himself. So with Bommel, you can run decreased accuracy. So for Bommel, it's actually more doable than it looks, okay? It's more doable than it looks. I threw in some theory crafting here as well. Obviously, Bommel is not on the test server, so I can't test it, actually. But I think there's good potential for Bommel. Like, it's Eternal Dragon. I can't show it to you. But for Bommel, good potential. This is something I'm going to return to. But if you decrease his accuracy, he's got 375. If we give ourselves increased resistance, we need to be going in with 320 resistance. So we give that 320 resistance, we up it by 50%, and we can beat this accuracy with decreased accuracy. If you bring her in with like Rector Drath, let's say Tatora Rhymehide gives you decreased accuracy. Rector Drath, minus 55 from her aura, Doom Tower resistance aura, minus 50 from the Rector passive. Not up all the time, but probably enough to get away with it. You only need about 215. Throw in a Geomancer for damage, and then somebody else, someone to make you not get one shot, maybe some damage protection. You could put in Mithrala for shielding and increased defense, for example. And boom, you're going to get through with 215 resistance. For Nightmare Hydra, again, I was looking for 303. Hard Hydra is still kind of hard, actually, funny enough, in terms of this, because the accuracy doesn't scale up that much. This is just sort of to max out your mischief 90% chance, as it were. Iron Twins, you can use Oella's aura. I don't know if it's super valuable, though. simply because I feel like reaching the accuracy requirements is very difficult. I would say once more that running Archbishop with Oella, you could open up some really interesting Iron Twins teams where he will help you reach the accuracy. She will help you reach the resistance. You get through it smoothly, but I don't think this is super necessary for most people. Mithrala is super strong. Like the team I run for this, I run a Mithrala with a Geomancer. I get increased accuracy from Claude, who's an epic, and Godseeker Neri. And then I've got him in for decreased speed. I mean, you could run Oella and just open with her A1 for this. It's certainly an option. It's definitely an option, and it will help protect you and might make the run smoother. I'm not going to showcase it here today, however. Unfortunately, not for today's video. Yeah, we come back to the Hydra team briefly, and then let's jump into some arena. I think there's tons of potential here. Like I said, I'll come back with an all-epic team. I would say one thing you can look at as well is the increased resistance auras. These are some, not all of them, but some of the highlights. You can see them all on hellhades.com over here. It's like Hell Hades is the all battles one. So there's quite a few champions, but for Hydra, there's not that many that are super relevant. I'd say Necret could be good for Arena, for example. I forgot to put him on the list. There's not that many that are amazing Hydra champions. The ones that would stand out to me, you could run Sifi with her. For Sifi bringing increased speed, increased defense, and a revive. The block debuffs from Sifi actually not useful because, well, increased resistance. You're not going to get any debuffs. Tila, yeah, Tila I think is probably the ideal one now. Tila is really OP, especially for Hydra. So if you got Tila, this is the combo. Tila plus her. Tila brings you the resist aura. She's good in the lead. She has AoE burn with Leech and Hex. She also has, she is AoE Leech and Hex and extends burns. She's AoE burn with continuous heals. And then she can steal buffs in her A1. So Tila is amazing and brings a resist aura that you could use for the Hydra, which is very strong. Vergum card got changed recently. But yeah, when you go to Arena, there's loads. Lydia, Razin, Harima, extremely powerful. For dungeons, her one is the best one. Faction Wars, well, they're not in her faction. Doom Tower, we've got Brogni and Rector Drath, I'd say, are both very good. You got some strong ones. We're missing some too. So we've got Pythion with 60 and is new. Also, Pixneal got reworked with 60. Interesting enough, I let me say this before we jump into Arena. Let me say this: when it comes to Hydra, I actually think she's way better than Pythion. I'm saying it. You need to make sure your team doesn't die, and you need to be able to build enough resistance, of course, right? Because you don't have the revive. That's what Pythion brings. He brings revive. He brings damage reduction with his passive. But for the most part, what's Pythion bringing you? He's bringing you healing here. He's bringing you healing and block debuffs here with the cleanse, right? What she does for you, actually, is much more than that, believe it or not, if you've built the right team. Because with the right team, increased resistance is actually better if you've got the resistance to pull it off. You got that base resistance. Increased resistance is better than block debuffs because it will block all the debuffs, you resist them all, but it will also resist the stealing from Mischief. Everyone can resist the stealing from Mischief, or at least most people can. And that's pretty massive. She brings much more healing than he does with both of these. Small chance of decreased speed, and she brings you tons of turn meter. So I actually think, I'm saying it, guys, for Hydra, I thought she was way stronger than Pythion. Pythion is fine. He's good. He brings the revive. That's his advantage in damage reduction, but she does a lot more for you. Oh, I forgot to mention extending all of your buffs to make not only her increased resistance, but all your other buffs more consistent. I think this champion is great. I really do. Like, for me, I'm 100% going for her as someone that loves Hydra, and I can do it. I will say the fusion does seem extremely hard, but I think they're very good. I'm actually going to run a team almost exactly the same as YST's team. That's quite funny. So what we're going to try her out with in the arena, we're going to try her out with this team. So we're going to bring in Pythion for the resistance aura. I actually think in the arena, they're fine together because I'm not going to build enough resistance on everybody. The block debuffs is actually going to be good. And we do want the revive for a nice tanky team. So that's going to be good. We're going to bring in Uko as well. So three recent fusions together. And then her partner in Ulton of the Shell. The way I have built these on the presets, I'm going to put them in. I'm just going to leave Python to do his thing. He is built like this, and he is in He's in stone skin gear. And with this resistance, plus his aura, plus her increased resistance, I think it's going to be a very powerful combo. We've already seen how she's built, and I think her turn meter boosting is going to be really helpful. Ultin of the Shell, I have in Stone Skin with really high crit damage and really high attack. He doesn't have much resistance or accuracy. We'll see how he works. I might do a full showcase on him. I've not tested this yet. We're testing this live. And then we've got Uko is going to come in with Uko's Fury. Doesn't have much resistance, but we add on the aura. We increase the thing. He's going to go up to about like 450 or something like that, right? I don't know, something like that. So it's going to be pretty okay, I think. Well, let's try it out against this team first of all. So here we go. Oella, she got, oh, it's unlucky. She got stunned by the stun set. So that's unfortunate. She didn't die though, and she's got the continuous heal on herself, which is kind of nice. So there we are. Unfortunate. Stun set takes her out. If you're building her pure for arena, I think she's probably going to be fine for the most part. You could build her with more resistance for purely arena. We've got the increased resistance on, and, well, we've actually just ripped their team apart. I wasn't even paying attention to what this guy's doing. Ultin of the Shell. Kill them, apparently. I wasn't really looking. But you could build her with more resistance for arena. You could put her in Stone Skin for arena as well. But I kind of figured, hey, I didn't want to do another Stone Skin showcase this time. Let's try it out against this mirror match. We might have to back out of this. This might be probably going to be a dead end. Oh no, we've got the right affinity to kill Duchess and Pythion with this guy, but I imagine they're probably going to be too tanky. We've got increased resistance. They're not really going to be trying to debuff me, though, are they? He comes in, he's done a hit. That's cool. She's actually put decreased speed on him, which is kind of fun. Ultin has gone in with his A1. That's interesting. And at this point, I mean, we'll see. There's not too much going on. You can see those continuous heals. They're very strong. The combo of these two champs together, the continuous heal goes on. Increased resist is on. Hopefully Uko can steal some stuff. There's the AoE. It did okay damage by Ultin, but not crazy. I think it's going to be a dead end. I don't see how he managed to kill Duchess, honestly. It seems very difficult. I also don't see how he manages to kill me. I feel like it's going to be probably probably a stalemate, but because we're the attacker, we got to back out. We're going to lose. Yeah, I do think that she's quite strong in this scenario, actually. I do think she's quite good. We don't have enough. Ooh, look at that. That's a big hit from Ultin when he actually gets debuffed. That's actually pretty good. Big single target hit. Or being picked back up by, again, the continuous heals, mostly doing the work. We'll see Oella come up with the direct heal in a second. No, it actually doesn't matter. They've already done their thing. Yo, that's a big hit. That's a big hit from his Ultin. That hurt a lot. Maybe I should have put my Ultin in, what's the word? We get revived. Oella comes in. Nice big heal. Maybe I should have put him in Savage so we'd have a chance. Yeah, I think YST's team would win here, but we got to back out. He is going to win because we're going to back out. Not going to keep you here forever. Interesting to see a similar team. Let me see. So against the Warlord teams, he'd hit us before we get increased resistance on, wouldn't he? Which would be kind of awkward. These are pretty nasty teams. Let's try against this team. Could be interesting. We can start to resist the Valkyrie and hopefully resist the Kymar stuff. Let's see if we can pull it off. His Kymar should probably put us to sleep. Put her to sleep turn 1. No, he did Seal of Magic first. Okay. Oella did get taken down. That's not a huge surprise. She didn't have Stone Skin on. Uko is going to strip most of their buffs, gets turned into a Shep. Cheap buff, surprisingly not. Yeah, okay. So I feel like watching this, we would want to build her a bit differently for the arena. We want to put her probably in Stone Skin or build her resistance much higher. Like that 300 accuracy is not really doing much for us here, to be honest. That continuous heal on Ultin, sort of helping him to stay alive until he wasn't alive anymore. Turn meter fill. Increase resistance. So we should hopefully resist their strips. I'm curious now. Hopefully we don't all die. Uko's back. That's actually a pretty big hit. And yeah, we resisted, which is cool. Now, unfortunately, I think we're most likely dead here. Just about surviving. He's healing himself with a counterattack, which is nice. The continuous heal still helping. Oh, he gets taken down. That's fine, though. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's interesting. This combo of them together. I feel like Ultin's not doing much for us. And she's obviously in the wrong build. Um, so we're having kind of a tough time, to be honest. Let's see here. One final fight. I do think that she's got pretty good potential for a go second team for Arena. I think that, oh, everyone got stripped. That's not ideal. We get the block buffs on. I'm very worried that we might just get one shot by Baron, though. This is a Baron. And yeah, now we've got the revive. We get back up. Uko doing the work. But hey, for a bunch of fusions, it's not bad. And Baron got reset and took us down. The Baron with the reset took us down. It's not a bad team, though. It's not a bad team. I know it seems like it. We're up against absurdly good teams here, though. But I think this team has, it's got some decent potential for a lot of people. I think she has some use and definitely one to revisit with champions that you would be building high resistance on. Like, I could see her with like a Sifi team being really obnoxious. Yeah, she could be really strong with like a Sifi or Mithrala, Rotus, that sort of thing. Could be very, very strong. Anyway, there you are. Unsuccessful, I would say, in Arena, but worked great in Hydra for us. With this build, might need to switch it up if you want to use her a lot in Arena too. But I think she's still going to be kind of a monster, even mid-game there. But yeah, Oella, I think she's fantastic. Like I said, there's no other champion in the game that can keep increased resistance on your team 100% of the time. Nobody else can do it. The best anyone else can do is 50% of the time. She keeps it up 100% of the time, just by herself, which is amazing. She also brings you tons of healing, and she brings you tons of turn meter as well. I think this champion is great. Initial thoughts, initial testing, I think she's great, and I'm excited to see what she does in Arena and against bosses in the future. But yeah, for me, if you're into Hydra, it seems like a very difficult fusion, so I can see a lot of people skipping because of that, and she relies a lot on Great Hall and good gear to make increased resistance work. But for people that are, mid to late game and can do a fusion without too much pain, for me, she is definitely a must-have. That's my thoughts on her. I like her way more than nearly everybody else, apparently. There you go. That's my showcase. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.